We know this all too well, the dreaded January debt hangover, right? You might already be feeling it. Canadians are scrambling to finish their holiday shopping. Spending can go through the roof when that happens. Our next guest has some tips on how to minimize your debt. Schwartz is the Executive Director of Consolidated Credit Counseling Services of Canada. Thanks so much for coming in this Saturday morning, the last weekend of shopping, so I'm assuming you've got all of yours done.
I hope so, yes.
Well, I feel like I'm already in debt. Some people might feel like they've already spent too much in their Christmas shopping. What are some of your tips on how to control that?
Well, right now we're heading into the last week before the holidays, and this is likely going to be a real busy Saturday. You're going to want to go with a plan. And that's something that we want to talk to people about, making sure that they have a plan before they go out shopping. They just don't throw out their credit card and say, okay, I'm going to pay now and worry about it sometime later. And that's really the wrong message, because at the end of the day, they could be waiting or paying that off for decades, not necessarily just on the next credit card bill, because they can't afford it. So many Canadians are living paycheck to paycheck, and well, where's that going to end up? Well, it's going to end up on the credit card, and they're just going to end up paying the minimums, and that's not going to help them. So we want them to go in with a plan, identify how much they can reasonably afford at this time. Even if they're going to go into debt, what's that plan for them to pay it off? Maybe a month, 2 months, 3 months down the road max, so they're not carrying it into the next holiday season for 2016.
Is it reasonable to have a plan on how to pay off the debt? I don't think I've ever had a plan on how to pay off debt.
Well, I think what we want to do is we're doing all this entertaining, all this gift giving, having all this fun over the holidays. Maybe it's time to take a little bit of a break into the new year in the first quarter and say, let's go into a little bit of spending hibernation, if you will, and then use whatever we would have spent during that time and really dig down deep and allocate that towards paying off debt, and set a goal for, say, the end of February, the end of March. Say, I'm going to have all this holiday debt paid for.
Where I see myself going in the hole, and I never plan ahead, is holiday entertaining, right? You invite all of your friends over, you host a dinner or something like that, and all of a sudden you've spent hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on things. How do you avoid something like that?
Well, and you know, this is a challenging one, because we go into the entertainment season and we want to be the host. We're thrilled about being the host. We want to welcome people into our homes. And reality is, it does cost a lot of money to do that. And people are often saying, well, you know, I'd like to contribute. I'd like to be more a part of this entertainment. And you know, it's not such a bad thing for them to say, for you to say yes when they want to bring something, or yes if they want to bring their own alcohol, or yes if they want to bring something along to add to the evening, because really they want to contribute, they want to be more a part of it. And too often the case, we say no.
Yeah, okay, so potlucks for everyone. How can we translate these strategies throughout the rest of the year? I know you're saying hibernation at the beginning of the year, which makes sense, but how do we handle our money throughout the year?
It's just like anything else. We want to learn from what we don't want to do again next year. So in other words, what lessons are we taking into the new year? And if we really want to save, if we really want to put aside, we're going to have a plan. And you know, it doesn't take a lot. It could be $50 a month, it could be $100 a month that we totally put aside. We make it invisible. So we have these deductions automatically siphoned off our paychecks, put into a savings account, and forget that they're there. So then when the time comes to go shopping next year, we've got this bit of a war chest built up so that we don't have to go into debt for the year following.
Oh, I'd find a reason to spend it every month though, Jeffrey. Wouldn't you?
I would, and that's why we need to make it invisible. So try and have it happen. And you know what's going to happen? At the end of the day, if we're sitting there and we've only got so much in our account to spend on our everyday expenses, you know what? That's what we're going to deal with. And the other stuff has already been put aside. Invisible.
All right, I appreciate that. Thank you very much for the tips.
You're welcome.
Schwartz, Executive Director of Consolidated Credit Counseling Services of Canada.